Yeah, good evening, guys. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, let me share my screen. I think today we are going to see different scopes. What is the one? 1 second. Okay. And this is the one, right? Okay. Okay. Today we are going to see these are the scopes for each, parallel for each, and batch processing. These are the things. First, we need to discuss it, and after that one, there is a different scopes. What are the one? Already seen this one, a choice router. Is there anything you guys remember? Choice router
API.
until and what is the one? There is one more thing. Is there execute first? I think 1 second. I remembered. Uh, choice router until successful and first successful. Yeah, first. Okay. I think we covered the messaging queues, right? JMS. Yes.
Messaging I haven't covered.
Already completed, right? JMS.
No, no,
VM queues, JMS. No? Okay.
no,
No
no, no.
problem. Okay. At last, we are going to discuss. These are the balance topics. I can write here. That is the MQ. And the last one is, I think, these are the balance topics. And M unit. Okay. So these we are these are the balance topics. Okay. Today we are going to see for each and parallel for each. And if the time permits, we can see the starting introduction to the batch processing. Okay. So in interview point of view time, most of the questions, 2 to 3 questions we can expecting in these three for each, parallel for each, and batch processing. Okay. First, let me create a simple project here. New mule project. For each example. Okay, I'm click finish it. Just wait it. What is the use of for each? I think we already seen the for each in previous classes. It is an array of items are there. You want to repeat the same set of operation one by one. In those situations, we can use the for each. Okay, let me show here. Okay, I'm giving the card coded. So here I'm giving my endpoint as a for each. Then I'm going to see. I'm placing one logger here. Flow started. Okay, let's say I'm setting the payload. Can anyone tell how we can set a payload? By
Task.
using the set payload component also we can able to set it. Either you can use the transformation message. Okay, it's up to you. You can see here I'm setting my payload. You can see here I want to give some values in the form of an array. How we can create an array? Tell me. This is my array and I am giving values like this one. Okay, it is an array as array. Now there are how many elements available inside of my array? There are 8 elements are there. Now I want iterating the one item one by one and I want to perform some operation. Okay, that is my intention. So you can see for this one what I'm going to do. I am picking one for each. You can see. So what we do before for each I'm placing the logger. I'm printing my entire payload. Okay, so how we can print the payload? Then you can simply queue the payload here. So inside of the for each also I want to print my payload. Okay, so what here I'm written message like this one. Inside of, I think we already discussed this one, inside of the for each. So how we can print the payload here, then you can give the expression here, then you can print the payload. Okay, after for each I am placing one more logger and I am printing for payload. Okay, okay. Now this is a simple program. That's a plain one. Here that thing is specialty is there. First we will execute and we will see the logs. And after that one, there is one famous interview question is there. We are going to see that one. It's a certificate point of also that question is important. Meanwhile, I can open my Postman. Just wait for it. I think previous example, one scenario we are using the for each. Anyone remember that scenario? So we are going to read the content inside of your file. Your file contains the 20 records, 30 records, and you want to perform the insert operation. So in that situation, we are using the for each. You guys are remembered? Single insert command we are using,
Mm.
right? Right. You guys are remembered or not? I think database insert example we seen that one scenario. Okay. And you guys needs more practice here. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, for each I'm hitting it. I successfully executed. It is a
Java.
Java format. Then go here inside of the logs. You can see here. This is the important one. So you can see this is my flow started. After that one, what you written, you can see. So it is before for each, what this is my payload. Got it? So 10, 20, 30, 40. But inside of the for each, you can see it is picking the item by item and it is repeating the same action repeating, right?
Mm.
At the end of the for each, that means you come out of the for each and you are placing again and again you are displaying the payload. You can see the payload is coming the same. But why? Because inside of the for each, I'm not performing any operation. I'm just consuming the data. I'm just displaying it, right?
Yes.
Let's see what happened when we apply this one. So here, what we do, I'm simply written like this one, and before for each and after for each. That is the one. Before I'm printing like this one before for each, and it should be like that one. Then here we are giving, okay, after this one. So to identify whether it is picking where the data, okay.
After for each.
So this is your interview question also. After for each, what happened to your payload? That is my question. Okay. Is it affected my original payload or the same thing is happened? We are going to see. Here I am printing. So I'm going to perform one operation by putting the transformation component here. Whatever the payload is there, I'm adding plus 10. Okay, that is the simple operation. I'm performing it.
This one.
So JSON, and whatever the payload is coming, I'm performing like this one payload plus 10.
Plus 10.
Okay, let's see what happens. Save the program, wait for it. Application is up and running, then go to your browser and hit it. Successfully executed, then go to here just to see the logs. Okay, now here see, you can see, so before for each, this is my payload, right? 10,
Yes.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So inside of the for each, you can see the 10 plus 10 and how much? 20, 20 plus 10. You can, 1 second, guys. Yeah, okay. So we done some mistake. Anyone? We need to place this one after the performing the action, right? 1 second. Once you perform the operation payload plus 10, then we are going to print it inside of the for each. Then only we can get the correct one. Okay, let's wait it. We can, sorry, we can hit it. Then go to here, then see the logs. Here you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, and 80. This is my initial payload. Once you enter into the for each, you can see 10 plus 10. What has happened? 20, 30, 40. So plus 10 is added. But you can closely observe it when we come out of this for each. What is your payload?
Original.
Why? Because you are but you are performing some operation inside of the for each, right?
Yes.
That means those modification doesn't affect your original payload. Why?
Yeah.
So this is your interview question. What happens to inside of the for each? You can see. So whatever the action you are performed inside of the for each, those are not affected your original payload. That means whatever the payload is there before the for each, that still remains the same after executing of your for each. Okay. So your payload is not going to change it. Got, guys?
Yes.
So for example, someone asked the question, but I want to store these modification data. How we can able to get that data? That means inside of the for each you are performing some operations, your payload is got changed, right? So I want to pick this data. Later point of view, I want to use this one. How we can able to do that one? You understand my point?
Yes.
Then how we can able to preserve the payload inside of the for each means there is a one tricky is there. So first we need to create a one variable. Just
Second.
remember. So by placing the set variable, I'm just creating a variable. So you can see I'm always giving the v data, and it is I'm creating as an array. Just remember, I'm creating an empty array. Okay. So what is the data inside of my variable? It is an empty array.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is simply whenever your data is whenever we done the modifications inside of the for each, I'm simply append this data to the my variable. Okay, understand? Hello.
Yeah. But
So this is my empty variable. This is in the form of array. So whenever you are done any modification inside of the for each, whatever the result is come out of this transformation message, what I'm going to do now, I'm concatenating the whatever the output is coming after this transformation to the existing variable. This is the variable I want to push it. Okay, let's see. First time it seems to be not understand, but you can see. So this is my action, right? Whatever the action is coming out of this one, this entire thing I want to save, or I want to concatenate it to the
set.
variable, right? So you can see either you can directly write here, otherwise just here add one target. So here the variable, what is the variable name here? V data, and don't go here. Whatever the data is available inside of the V data, and we can, so 1 second, V data plus payload. Got it?
Okay. Why
Which it
don't
is
we
showing, sorry,
why don't
tell
we
me.
declare that set variable inside for each?
This variable,
Inside for each.
then when we place this variable inside of the for each, what is the scope of that for each? When we come out of this for each, is that data is available inside of this variable? Let's see. Maybe you are asking like that one, whatever the payload is there, we can append that entire payload to this variable. Maybe you are telling that one, right?
And then we'll access the
Let's
show.
see, let's see. Okay, so inside of the transformation only we can able to save that variable, right? This is my payload, and whatever data is available, we can simply append that entire payload to this one. So that is your requirement. Let's see after this logger, and I am placing one more logger, and let's print that variable data. Okay,
Yes.
let's see. So how we can get to variables? Where's dot
V data.
v data? Okay, let's see. Let's save it and run the program. Okay, it is deployed. Then go to your mule, hit it, and you can see it is throwing an error. Why it is throwing an error?
V data.
So where this variable is created, no? So inside of the for each you are created variable, but that variable is not able to access outside of your for each. Now you understand the point. So whatever
Yes.
the variables you are created, that scope is always inside of that for each only. So to avoid that one, what I'm going to do, I'm creating one variable before the for each, and whatever the data comes out of this for each, I'm just appending it. Now you got it.
Yes.
Now you can see we can simply place a variable. Just the one set variable. We can place the heart, and we can give variable name as a v data. Initially, it is in the form of an empty array as array. Then go to here. I can play same thing. You can see variable where whatever the data is previously. So where it is available, where's dot
V data.
v data, whatever the data is, we can simply append it. Okay, don't worry, it initially is throwing an error. Don't worry, just forget about it. Whatever the payload there and comes here and here, that variable data we are saving. Let's save. Let's run it. Then hit it. Oh, it is showing an error. Why? Where it is an error? Okay, one second, one second. I think here we need to use single plus only, not double plus. Okay. Then it is added that variable to the inside of an array. Let's write it. If it is an object, then we need to use the plus plus. If it is an array, we need to use single plus only. Okay, now go and see inside of the logs. Okay, where it is, you can see this is my logs. Now you can see this still it is showing the same message, same thing. Why? This is the data inside of a variable. Why it is showing the still the same thing? Go on, see whatever the logic you are written inside of this one. So so you are created one variable here. That variable always add the payload, not the payload plus 10, right?
Yeah.
Right, that means you can see here where we need to create this v data variable, where we need to create this v data variable. After this transformation message, you can put one more transformation, then you can able to save that one. And where it is, I can put the transformation here. Otherwise you can use a single variable there. Then here we need to add one variable, that is the target, and a variable. What is the variable name? V data. Then go here, and whatever the data is, that where's dot v data plus whatever the payload is coming out of this one. Okay,
Hmm.
payload spelling wrong, I think.
The fire load.
Okay,
Hmm.
then now save the program, then let's try it. So this is the last logger message, always print the data inside of a variable. So that means whatever the modifications you are done inside of the for each, those will be preserved inside of that variable. Let's see whether it is giving that result or not. It is deployed. Then go to the postman, hit it. Okay. Then go to your mule. Let's see the logs. Now you see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. This is the one, right? That means whatever the operations you are performed inside of the for each, that the operations are we are getting or not.
But why it is showing empty? Why is showing
Because
empty? But
here the logger somewhat different here. I think we are misplaced the logger. Na, I will show you. That is the not the problem. You can see here. You can see what is the one, the payload. So what is the payload here? You can copy payload plus 10, and after consuming of this one, what happens? Your payload becomes null na. So to avoid that one, you can simply remove this payload. Then it is only one variable is there. Okay, guys, are understand? Previously here when we place in the transformation, by default it comes with the payload. Okay, that means we are not written any code for the payload. It is automatically gives the null, right? Hello. Yes. Understand?
yeah, sir. Can you run and then explain once again?
Yeah, then you can see. Okay. Otherwise you can see previously payload comes like this one, right? So we can simply change the one variable we are adding. Then what about the payload? You are written any code here?
No.
Now then what is the meaning of this one? It is empty object, right? That
And if
means
you
after
print payload
executing
here,
of this transformation, what happens? It is printing the empty message. Okay, otherwise, if you want to preserve that one, then you can simply paste the payload. It is a JSON format. Got it? Let's now you can run it, then you can understand. Then go to your thing, correct? Where it is here. Now your data is getting? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Can you
so
explain, sir, one more time from beginning?
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah. So now you can see what happens inside of the for each means whatever the modifications you are done inside of the for each, those operations will not affect your original payload. That means whatever the payload is before the for each, the same payload is available at the end of the for each. But what is your requirement? So whatever the operations you are performed inside of the for each, we need to preserve that output inside of a one variable,
Mm.
because the whenever come out of the for each, still I want to access that data. So generally when we come out of the for each, automatically your entire data is discarded. Okay, but I don't want to do that one. I want to preserve whatever the operations we are performed inside of the for each. So how we can able to preserve that one means, before for each I am creating one variable. So what is its data type? I'm simply creating that is as an empty array. Then we have enter into the for each, and inside of the for each are performing one operation, no problem. Then whatever the payload is generated by this transformation message, I'm putting this entire thing inside of a
Variable.
variable. Now, whenever we are done any modifications, whenever we done anything, everything it is appending to the this variable, right?
Mm.
So what is your duty? You need to now whenever we want to access the whatever the modification done inside of the for each. So how we can able to get that data? That entire thing is available inside of this variable. So we can use that variable. Got it?
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
the one we are
What is
done.
that second last logger do
This is the one.
outside?
This is the one. Just I'm printing that data inside of that variable. Whether we are that modified data is available inside of that variable or not, I'm checking it.
So it is not catching that modified data.
It is catching, na? You can see. This is the one, right? The last statement. You are seeing the
Second last logger.
this is the one.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see this is the after for each. It will show the original payload, na? You can see 10, 20, 30, 40. This is the original payload.
Okay, before and after for each, same the original payload.
Same
Okay.
original payload is there, but you have done some modification inside of the for each. How you can preserve that means that is available inside of the variable. Then we print the variable, the same thing is coming, na?
Got it.
So this is our certification question plus interview point of view, that definitely the ask question. Okay. So
Yes.
what happens when the before for each and after for each, your payload is affected or not? Is it affected?
No.
No, but they want to then immediately then ask this scenario. I want to preserve the whatever the modification done inside of the for each. How you can do that one? By creating a variable, and we can append the values to the that variable. Got it?
Variable. Yes.
So this is the one,
But
and
we have
here,
to declare that variable outside the for each.
nice,
That
yes.
is the
Then only
condition.
we can able to append it. Okay, now here you can see for
Okay.
this one, for example, you can see it is when we go for what are the settings for the for each, you can see for each, you can see. So here you can see it is asking the collection name, counter, badges, and something. But what is the meant by collection is nothing, but by default it is picking the entire the payload. Okay, otherwise, for example, you can see here there is a one transformation message I am putting here. Okay, let us see inside of this one. I'm creating some data like this one. Now you can understand what is the meaning of the collection. We can give the serial number. I think serial number is in the form of an array. Let's see. 201, 202, 203, 205, 206, and 208. Okay. Now you can see whatever the set inside of the variable, we are not going to create this one. 1 second. Okay. Now you can see the for each. What happens when we execute the for each? What happens? This entire payload is comes, right. I am removing this payload. Then what is your payload now? After executing the transformation message, what is your payload? Is it is an array or is it an object? After executing of this transformation message, what is your payload?
Object.
Object, right? But for each always expecting the data in the form of
Collection.
array,
Array.
right? But here you can see in my payload the array is there, but where it is the array? Inside of the payload dot
Yes, number.
serial number, right? Then we need to pass this collection only, not entire the payload. Now how we can pass that one? Generally go here, we can just enable this mule expression, then you can provide that collection name payload dot serial number. Now got it? So you no need to send the entire payload to the for each. If you want, what wherever your array is there, you want to pass them, then you can able to pass it here. Got
Okay,
it?
because if we pass object, then it show the error.
Error. Definitely it show the error because the for each always expecting. Let's see that one. For example, here there is nothing is there. Let's save and run it. Let's run it. Okay. Let's hit it. Now you can see what the error it is getting. You call the function plus operator with the these argument. The plus always expecting the single value, but it is giving the
object.
So that it is showing an error. Okay. Then how we can pass the collection here? So go to for each, enable this one. So where is my array? Payload dot serial number. Let's try this one.
So
Okay. Let's save and try it one more time. Then go to here and hit it. Now you can see this is the my payload. Then go to the logger. Let's see what are the loggings you can see. So see this is the before for each, and after that one when we enter into the for each, everything is plus 10 plus 10 now. 201 plus 10, 211, 202 plus 10. Everything is added plus 10. Then go here, you can see inside of the variable, those modifications will coming, right?
yes, they have saved.
Yeah, so this is the way we can able to pass a particular part of the collection from your payload to for each. So how you can pass that one? Collection, here we need to pass an array. Got it? So
Yes.
here you can see the batch and block size is nothing but how many. So for example, here you can see I am giving the value as a 2. Let us see. First we will see the output, then you can understand. Okay, I'm run, save the program and just wait for it. Let's run it. Okay, then go to Postman and run the program. Go to your mule. Let's see what are the output it is coming.
Can you maximize that concept?
One second. You can see everything is seems to be same. You can see from this one. Okay, this is the one. This is my original payload. Once we enter into this one, now you can see how many elements it is picking.
2.
2. Again, how many elements it is picking?
2.
2. That means why it is picking two elements? Because you are setting the for each batch size as a 2. That means it is always picking 2 elements as a batch, and whatever the operations that you are performed there, and it is repeating 2 elements. Okay. So this
It
is
is not adding
minimized.
10. It's
Yeah.
just appending it.
No. You forget about this one. So inside of the for each, what happens? It is picking the values. How many values are picking now? Previously the same for each is repeating this I mean 5 times or 6 times, but this time it is repeating only 3 times because always it is picking two elements as a batch. Got it?
Yes. But
So
sir,
that
my
is the,
question is, it is not adding 201 plus 10, 202 plus 10.
how you can say that it is not adding plus 10? That is the problem of here. You can see when we accessing data in the form of the batch, whatever the operation, it is unable to perform that operations. Okay, so that's the only for each kind of operations it is performing it is picking the values as a batch only. That is, but whenever we need to perform operations over the batch payloads, it is not going to do that one. Okay, but it can able to create the batches. Got the one?
Not clear.
No, it is only picking the data in the form of batches only. That is the point you need to remember. It is not going to perform any operations as a batches.
Can you put 3 over there and run?
Yeah, let's see. Okay. So there is a 3. It is picking the values only 3 only. But so there are 3 elements are there. How we can perform the 3 elements plus 10? Is it possible?
No.
That is the why it is not giving the adding a result. Got it? So inside of the payload, when we putting as a 3 as a batch size, how many elements available inside of the payload? 1 element or 2 element or 3 elements?
3 elements.
So 3 elements plus 10, is it a valid operation?
No.
No,
Mathematical.
that's why it is not going to perform this entire operation, because that functionality is not written inside of your for each. It is only picking 3 values and the plus 10. It is, that means this is just adding it. That means concatenating it. It is not going to add the plus 10. Got it?
Yes.
Now,
Can you see
let's
that?
now save the program. Let's wait it. One second. Okay, let's hit it. Now you can see how many elements it is picking.
3.
3 plus 10 means it is an array. That's why it is appending it. Plus 10. Observed? So this is appending it. Appending it. That's it. Now go and see the last element inside of this one. First 3 elements, next 3 elements, and this is the way they are getting the data. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the minimized version of your batch processing. Okay, not complete one. So it is always we can able to set the batches also, but it is not going to perform the actual terminology. Okay, so this is the one, just remember it. Okay, the for each always executes our data sequentially. That is the one you need to remember it. Okay, then
Okay.
how we can improve this performance of the for each is nothing but there is one new thing is there, that is the parallel for each. Okay, so what is the advantage of the parallel for each? I am going to show you. 1 second. Yeah. So this is the parallel for each. You can see the same thing inside of this one. You can 1 second. Only difference between the for each and parallel for each. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the parallel execution or multi-threading? Anyone knows that one?
Instead of single thread, multiple thread acts.
What is the need of thread? Creating a thread. When you understand what is a thread, then you can understand what is a thread and everything. What is a thread? Why we are creating the threads? Anyone knows? So now you can see there are two names generally we can call it as. One is the process, the second one is the thread. Okay, so the threading concept is comes with the whenever we need to execute the multiple tasks at a time, then we need to create a
threads.
thread. That means whenever we need to execute a multitasking environment, that means same time you want to execute more than one operation at a time, then we need to creating a thread. Okay, so inside of the process we can able to create a
Multiple thread.
multiple thread. That is the one, just remember. But whatever you can see, whenever the for each always executing in the form of process only. That means first element, second element, third element, at a time it is going to perform only one single task. Okay, to speed up this thing, what we do, we can internally we can able to create a thread and we can speed up our execution. So when we combination of the for each with the multi-threading concept, that is your parallel for each. Got it, guys? No?
Yes. Yes.
So now you can see this is my input. You can see first I am loading this entire payload inside of my parallel for each. Internally, it is automatically creating the number of threads. For example, in this example, it is going to create a 3 threads. One thread can pick the first value, second thread can pick the second value, third thread can pick the third value. That means at a time, how many processor you are executing? That means how many actions you are performing here? Only 1 or 3?
3.
That means execution wise or performance wise, which one is the best, for each or parallel for each?
Parallel for each.
Okay, now you can understand. So when someone asks the question, what is the difference between for each and parallel for each? Inside of the for each, we can pick the data one by one only, and we can process the data in the one by one only. But when we go for the parallel for each, it is internally it is creating the threads. That means multiple threads are created, and multiple threads can consuming the data, and it can execute the data. And moreover, the last important point is whatever the order you are giving this order, you can see inside of the multiple threads, what happens? It is executing the same operation for the different inputs. That means at a time this executing, this one executing, this one executing. But when we see the end point, the same whatever the order you are loading, the same order again it is giving the result. Got it?
Yes.
So picking is depending on the multi-threading concept, and executing is also depending on the threads. And after completion of the all threads, then only it is again segregate the data, whatever the input format is there, the same order it is again giving the result. Okay, this is the point you need to remember it. Okay,
Yes.
yes or no? Then you can see, for example, here we are creating the multiple thread. One thread got failed, then what happens?
It will take care by another thread.
No. What I am looking, for example, this is my payload, right? Let us say, so there is a what operation I'm performing, the +10. I want to perform this operation. Okay, whatever the payload. But now you can see what is my payload is in the form of 10, 20, 30, and inside of this one, ABC is there. Okay, how many threads it is creating?
4.
Then first one is the 10 value, the second one is the 20, third one is the 30, the fourth one is the ABC. Is it a valid operation?
No.
Then this definitely this thread got failed, right?
Yeah.
That means while we executing these threads parallelly, they are executing, not a sequentially, right?
Yes.
So this is my failure condition. Then it will give your result or not?
It will throw an error.
What is my question? It will give the result or not?
No.
That means whatever the remaining threads are, everything is go to fail, and it is automatically giving the failure. That means inside of the parallel for each, any thread got failed. So automatically the entire job goes to the failure status. This is the one you need to remember it. Got it?
Yes. Yes.
So how we can eliminate this problem is that will be eliminated inside of your.
Batch processing.
Now you can see the difference between the batch processing and parallel for each. Parallel, I mean, efficient version of the parallel for each or batch processing. Okay, that is the one. We will see how we can do these failure cases inside of the batch processing, everything. But just remember, so this is the main drawback of the parallel for each. So when any thread got failed, automatically the entire job got failed. Okay, so that is the one you need to remember it. Okay, you can see. So the event processor it is got failed, then everything is got failed. No, there is no further execution. Okay, let's see how we can creating the parallel for each. I'm going to stop this one. Let me create it. The same thing I am creating here, and what we do, the same thing here I am placing instead of that one for each. Sorry, parallel for each. Whatever the components are there, everything I move to the parallel for each, and I removed it. Let's save the program. Let's try to run it. Oh, I think we need to. You can see for the parallel for each, what are the settings? You can see it is asking the same basic settings. What is the collection? Here we need to pass. Where is my collection? Payload dot serial number. Then you can see here it is automatically asking one important one. What is this one?
Maximum concurrency.
So maximum concurrence is nothing but this is the number of threads you are going to create it. Okay, generally we can leave it as an empty because it is automatically identify the optimal value for the thread creation depending on your cores. For example, your system has i3 mean 5 cores are the 5 into 10 cores, then it is automatically picking the 5 cores or 3 cores. It is automatically identify the optimal value of cores, optimal value of threads. Okay. So
Mhm.
don't touch that one. It will always give the dynamic value depending on your CPU cores. Okay. If explicitly you want to mention it, then you can mention like the integer value, two threads, 3 threads, something. Okay. Otherwise, you can simply leave it that one. Okay. Let's run the program. Let's see. The remaining everything is same. So performance wise, there is no mistakes are there. Let's see what happens. It's a deploy, go to postman and hit it. And this is the forget about this one. Then go here and you can see what is the output it is showing. I think we are placed dot Java. Okay. You can see this my payload is in the form of Java. I don't worry. We will change that one. Go over there. Where is it? Is JSON. JSON. The payload is the form of okay. Everything is comes as a JSON. Why? One.
It's set variable.
Oh, it is an array only, right, guys? We're converted to the
Transform
Oh.
message is also the first transform message.
that it is a JSON only. Okay. Otherwise, we can go in the because at the end we need to pick the data, right? Why it is showing this one? 1 second. We can place a transformation. JSON data equal to where's dot data. Let's save the program. Let's try this one. Hit it. Oh, it is showing the empty array. 1 second. Anyone
is
can
that?
tell me? No. Anyone can tell me why it is showing an empty array?
Because it is
Because it is creating the multiple threads, right? That's why it is unable to append it. Okay, because everything is appending, right? Then you can see, but definitely it should return the value. Okay, let me debug this one, then we can see how they are behaved. You can add a breakpoint. Okay, we can debug, then we will see how the data is propagating. Okay. I can put it. I think it is still in executing. We can hit this one. Then comes here. What is my payload? You can see my payload is in the form of them. Then we can go here and my payload is a still stem. Then we enter into the for each. Now you can see what is my payload. Payload is still same. Then now you can see when we enter into the for each, you can see this is picking the 201 as the first one. Then the payload second one, you can observe it. It is not moved to the second one. Why? It is not going to move to the second one. Why?
multiple thread
So
activation.
internally it is creating the multiple threads and multiple threads are trying to execute the same time. That's why it is not giving any order for you. Okay. Don't think it is stop execution. Don't think like that one. So you can see multiple threads are creating. That's why it is not giving the variables value perfectly. So this is the one. This is the some drawbacks. You can see everything is 201, 206 is there na. 206 plus 10. What is the value?
216.
216. That means it is appending that it is perform the operation correctly, but due to the multi-threading concept, the order is doesn't maintaining. You can see everything is okay.
Now, how
Let's
to
see.
capture that?
No, you can see my data is coming. You can observe. Okay, let's see 1 second. I think previously my program is not executed perfect. So inside of the variable now you can see. Oh,
0.
and that means the variable is overloaded. The payload is original one. Okay. Oh, it is written in the data. Okay. So this the way, but you are asking one question: how we can able to get that data, right? So generally, this the not the way. Generally, we are going to perform some flow reference. Then we are not going to preserve this data in the real time. Okay. So in some limitations are the parallel for each. That's why we are not going to use the parallel for each. We are moved to the batch processing. Whatever the problems here there, we can able to resolve all these things inside of the batch processing.
So
Okay.
I didn't get, sir.
Okay. They tell me.
Yeah. Then what is the use if multiple
No, no,
threads
no,
are
no, 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 no. You can see in this example, maybe it seems to be no use. But let us assume. So here the database insert command is there. Otherwise, there is a file data you are reading. Okay. So you want to post this entire data to the some other external SAPI call, other HTTP URL you are consuming it. Okay. Let me screen write one use case, then you can understand.
Can we have a different example?
One second. I will show you. 1 second. Yeah. So let us assume this is my data. Let us say, so it is in the form of array. There are 5 objects, employee information is there. Okay, let us assume. So this is my employee ID, the name, something is there. Okay, so what is my requirement? There is one predefined API is already created. For this API, what is my requirement? You need to send the employee ID as a parameter, then it is automatically giving some result. Okay, that is my requirement. So my employee IDs are coming from an ID. Okay, so what is my requirement? Every time I want to pick this employee ID and I want to call this API. Okay, so how we can call this API?
Requester.
HTTP requester, right? That means this is my payload. Let us say the payload. After this one, what is the component you need to place it?
HTTP requester.
HTTP requester, but this HTTP requester is repeating the same action for the everything, every payload, right? I mean each employee ID, right?
Okay.
Then here, which component we need to place here? I want to repeat the same HTTP requester call for the all the employee IDs inside of my payload. So there are 3 items are available. First item, second item, third item. Here we need to use the for each or parallel for each. Which one I need to use it?
Parallel.
Why we are not using a for each?
For each also okay, but it will be work
Now
sequential.
you can understand. So this is the use cases.
Can we have that use case, sir?
Actually, we are not going to create this one now. Don't worry. In the batch processing, again the same example, we will compare it. Okay, don't worry. So I will show you there. Okay, because there is SAPI call, I want to create it, right? Don't worry. The same parallel for each, I am creating one flow for you tomorrow, and I'm consuming. I will show you. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
if you are
Just
able to see
remember.
the result now, then it is more
Then that
easy
means you
to
can see, yeah,
visualize.
the whatever the result it is returning in the form of an object, I will show you. Don't worry. Just now you can understand the use case, right?
Got it.
So whenever we need to speed up your process, the an array instead of a sequential manner, we want to speed up the process. Then in the situation, we need to use the parallel for each
Yeah, but we can't catch that result.
because it is creating the multiple threads. We are not giving any assurance. So what this is the problem of parallel for each. Then that's why we are going to the
Batch
batch
processing.
processing. Okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow I will give one simulation example, then you can better understand. So how we can catch this one proper way. Okay.
Yes.
Don't worry. Okay. So this is the for each and parallel for each. And rarely we are using the parallel for each, guys. Just remember, the maximum of the cases we are going for the for each, but the parallel for each we are not expecting. It is not executing as you expected. It is everything is controlled by automatical multiple thread concepts. Okay. So we need to more conscious about when we using the parallel for each. Okay, generally 19% we are going for the for each only. If the data is very huge, then we can blindly go to the batch processing.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. So tomorrow I will come up with one simple example where we can use the parallel for each and what is the problem of there, then maybe we can clearly understand. So this is the for each and parallel for each, and that's it. Tomorrow we are going to see the full day batch processing.
Batch process.
Okay, so after that one, these three are very easy. I think only 10 to 15 minutes we have. Then we can see the MQs. Okay,
Okay.
so batch processing, we can spend more time. Yes, I think 2 to 3 examples we are going to see it, and 2 to 3 scenario-based questions you may expect in inside of the interview. I will show you, and we can discuss more elaborately and tomorrow on batch processing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So just practice it, and is there any additional information regarding the parallel for each? Just search it, and we will discuss this thing again in tomorrow also. Okay. Okay, guys. And here today's interview question is: so, what is your data before for each and after for each? What is your payload?
Same.
The same. This is your certificate question as well as
Interview.
interview question. Okay, so why am I repeating, why I'm placing this all things in the last means most of the modern today's interviews are starts the questions from these areas only. They starts the interview from these areas. That's why I'm discussing all these things in last. Okay, so just practice it. Okay, is there any other doubts you guys have? Yes.
Yes,
No?
and no doubt. Just I wanted
Yeah.
to tell you that tomorrow, can you explain for each and parallel each both?
Yes,
Because
guys,
it
don't
was
worry.
bit
So
confused.
again, we can have the comparison class also for
Hmm.
each, parallel for each, and batch processing with the examples and the time consuming everything. Don't worry. So
Okay.
once you complete the batch processing, again we can come back and we can show you the difference between three things.
Okay.
There you can understand which one is the better result and where we use it. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would be great.
That we can take 1 million records. This maybe you are seeing the famous use case. There is 10 million records are there. How you are going to process it? Why can't we use this one? Why can't we use the parallel for each? Why we go for the batch processing? So that scenario based question is there, na? There we can discuss all these things.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
we can create that example, and step by step you are going to see it. Comparison also for the three things.
Yeah.
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 Then you can get more clear about all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So don't worry, I will cover all the scenarios. Okay. Okay, anything I missed, please remind me. Okay. I think these are the concepts. Is there anything I missed so far?
Validation. So validation.
The validation is small thing here. So okay, don't worry. You can remind me. Validation. Anything else? I think most of the things only. Yeah. If you want, I can add one more thing. It is not necessary for all the project, but interview point. What is the one? Yeah,
VCore and worker side also.
we could have already covered at the
Yeah.
deployment, right? Key store and trust stores. This is the one. I need to cover this one because we can expect one or two questions that I asking. Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, don't. Is there anything you are identified? Just remind me. Okay, maximum this weekend. Otherwise, the coming Tuesday or Wednesday, we are going to close the sessions. Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
We're
guys.
going to complete the course.
Yeah. Maximum the Wednesday or Thursday, we are going to close the course.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.